Hey everyone, Carolina Venom here. Today I am checking out the LG Optimus Exceed 2. This is one of the newer phones in the Verizon wireless prepaid phone lineup, and I'm going to give you the specs of the phone, what I think about it, the goods and the bads, run some tests, and we'll go from there. So right now, we'll go ahead and get into the specs. Right, this phone is running Android 4.4.2. It has a 4.5-inch display at 800 by 400 pixels at 199 ppi. It has a scratch resistant glass. It has a 5 megapixel camera on the rear with LED flash, and it will record up to 800 by 480 WVGA resolution, and you can take pictures while recording video. It has a 1.2 gigahertz dual core Snapdragon 200 processor with 1 gigabyte of RAM, 4 gigs of built-in storage with 2 gigs available to user, and it will hold up to a 32 gigabyte micro SD card. It has a 2100 milliamp hour battery with around 12 hours of talk time and an estimated standby time of 18 days. The phone has no front-facing camera, which is a disappointment because I was hoping it would have one, but it don't. On the bottom, you got your back button, your home button, which also serves as your notification light. Here is your menu key on the bottom, micro USB charging port, volume rocker on the side, 3.5mm headset jack on top, power button on this side. On the back, your single speaker, your camera, and your flash. Take off the back. The battery is removable, which is nice. And your micro SD card slot is located up here in the top corner. Another thing I want to get into right now is the way the phone feels. The phone is very light. It's got a very light feeling to it. The phone is actually pretty big. I mean, you can tell it's a pretty big size phone. With a 4.5-inch display and everything, but this phone is like featherweight light. It's very comfortable to hold. It's got a rubbery feel to the back of it, and it's just a comfortable phone to hold, and it's very comfortable against your ear while you're talking on this phone, and it's just a really nice feeling phone in general. This phone has a knock feature on it. When you tap it twice, the phone will cut on, but I got that feature turned off because it's very sensitive. If you hit it just right, it'll cut on by itself, and that's just kind of aggravating, so I cut that feature off. So we'll go ahead and get the phone on here. It's already on, but we'll go ahead and power it up. And as I mentioned earlier about the screen resolution, is only 800 by 400 with only 199 ppi. Now that's pretty pathetic, to be honest with you. Even most 4-inch displays have at least 233 ppi with 800 by 480, and this is a 4.5-inch with 800 by 400 and 199 ppi. But looking at the screen and looking at everything, you can tell that it does not look half bad. The screen quality is decent, but of course, it's not going to appeal to people who like HD displays and stuff like that. But if you're looking for a cheap phone that is as cheap as this phone right here is, with a pretty good size screen, then if you're like me, screen quality ain't of the utmost importance. As long as I can see it really good and I can read what's on it, and it's not too blurry or pixelated, then I'm fine with it. But I know there is some that likes really good screen quality. The phone does scroll really quick. It is a very fast, very good phone. And of course, I don't have many apps on here yet, but so far, like I said, it is pretty smooth, and I've not had really any issues with freezing or lagging or anything else. We'll go ahead right now and run a benchmark test on it. See what kind of speeds we're going to come in at here. Some of the pros with this phone is it's got very good call quality. Of course, with most LG phones, they do sound very good. Call quality. Speakerphone, it sounds good until you get almost full loudness. Then it begins to crackle a little bit, like a lot of phones do. People, like I said, it does sound good. Reception is also strong on this phone. You know, down here where I live, I can get between 2 and 3 bars of service, which is really cleared. I have no problem getting out. And as most people know, LG don't have the strongest antennas on their phones. Just have Booster Virgin Mobile, and you'll know that. But this phone does get out pretty good and has pretty good reception. It's only a 3G phone, by the way, as well, because Verizon don't allow 4G LTE on their prepaid phones yet, which is a bummer. Hopefully they will soon. Okay, my device is coming in at 5,513, which is a pretty respectable speed. You know, it's not too slow, not too fast. I mean, it's not a Galaxy S5 that's going to run around 20,000, but I mean, for this kind of phone with these specs, 5513 is a pretty respectable number, and it does show pretty good speed on this phone. We'll go into the browser here, and we'll load up a website. It comes up pretty quick. We will pinch the zoom out here, and as you see, it does seem to scroll pretty good without much lag. Of course, it's still loading a little bit, but for the most part, it is smooth, and the page is pretty well loaded, and so it does work pretty well on the web. We'll go ahead and we'll zoom in a little bit here, and when you look at it through here, it looks, you know, pretty clear. But when you're looking at it, it's just got kind of a blah, boring look. It's not very, you know, it don't really pop out at you or nothing like that. But it does look good. It is clear. And, you know, it does have a little bit of blur in it. And it's not really as sharp as some cameras are. I mean, it's some, like, okay, let me get that out another way. It's not as sharp as, you know, an HD display, by no means. But it does look good, and it is decent for what it is. So, all in all, I think this is a good phone. You know, we'll go into the camera here for a second and go through some of the features of the camera. Camera is pretty good for a 5 megapixel shooter. It ain't the greatest, but it's not bad. You do have a number of features here, like the focus, brightness, ISO, white balance. Image size, you can choose between 5, 3 wide, and 1 megapixel. You have your color effects, which is about the normal, you know, on these phones: negative, mono, timer, geotagging, shutter sound. And while this phone does not have a dedicated camera key, you can use the volume key to capture your photos. So that's not bad either. We'll go up here to the mode settings, and you can take pictures in normal. You can take pictures in sports mode to capture fast-moving images without blur. Let's check that one out, see if that actually works or not. Continuous shot will take 6 shots in rapid sequence, and you got your panorama mode. Go here into the camcorder. You have your settings. Like I said, another disappointing thing with this phone is the camcorder. It only records in WVGA 800 by 480 is the max resolution, which is, if you have looked at the regular Exceed, it records in 720, so they actually backed up a little bit on that. I don't know why, but I was expecting at least 1080 on this phone, but you know, 800 by 480 is the best you're going to get. And then you got your same thing, you know, your record button, you know, for the volume key and all that stuff. About the same as the camera settings. Mode, you can record video with normal recording mode, or you can have live effects, which you can apply various visual effects when recording the video. So you got a few, you know, things. You got a few in there. I want to actually do a sample test, sample video test, maybe tomorrow, to show you how the video quality is while I'm driving, and with 800, but with only WVGA recording and sound quality and everything. But like I said, all in all, this is a nice phone. The text messaging, the keyboard. I've never really been crazy about the LG keyboard, but this one here is pretty nice. It's a little cramped, even though it is a 4.5-inch display. Keyboard is a little cramped up, and you know, I do misspell words, but the auto correction does help out a lot, because I hit the wrong buttons. But it is a pretty nice keyboard, and of course, this is the only keyboard this phone comes with, is the LG keyboard, which you can download more from the Play Store. So basically, that's all I really got to say about this phone. 4.5-inch display, which is a nice size. If you can deal with, lower screen resolution and lower pixel density, the lightness is just great. I mean, you put it in your pocket and you about forget it's even there. It's just a nice phone. It's not very thick, and it's basically a Optimus Zone 2. Just beefed up a little bit. When you look at the Optimus Zone 2, you got a 3.5-inch display. It's got a 4.5-inch. This has got a flash. The Zone didn't. And this has got a 1 gigabyte of RAM, and the Zone had 512 megabytes of RAM. But honestly, the phones run about the same speed. I mean, as far as web browsing, as far as benchmark tests, they're about the same. So, and I believe that they're the same phones, just different name and a little bit more beefy phone here. Very good deal. I got this phone for $49.99, so I traded in the Optimus Zone 2 for it, and I got it on sale for that price. And even at regular full price, it ain't but like $70. So this is a very good phone to start out with if you want something that's going to be kind of a low-end, entry-level device with a 4.5-inch display. It is only 3G, like I said, which you do have respectable speeds with Verizon 3G. But of course, it's not no 4G LTE by no means, but maybe one day soon Verizon will add 4G LTE to their prepaid phones. And if you're looking for a prepaid carrier, I know most carriers now are trying to compete to see who has the best plans, and basically they're all about the same plans, the same pricing and everything else. AT&T and Verizon, they pretty much have a data limit, and people like Boost Mobile, Virgin Mobile, T-Mobile, Cricket, they have caps like 2.5 gigs of high-speed data, but you still have unlimited, so they won't charge you if you go over that. They'll just slow you down. But with Verizon, I think you can just add megabytes or gigabytes as you go along if you start running out. But anyway, like I said, if you're looking for a cheap phone with Verizon, I would definitely check out this phone here. It's got the same size screen as the Moto G, which the Moto G is a faster phone and a good phone, but of course you can't remove the battery or put extra memory in it, so that's kind of a big negative for me on the Moto G. But this is a really nice phone, like I said. LG Optimus Exceed 2. Any questions or comments, please feel free to ask me. Subscribe to my channel. I sure would appreciate it. Look at the LG Optimus Exceed 2. Really nice, cheap phone. I definitely recommend it. Y'all have a good one. Talk at you later.